At 7:17 a.m. on June 30th, 1908, something exploded over Siberia with the force of 1,000 Hiroshima bombs. But when scientists finally reached the blast site 19 years later, they found something impossible: 80 million trees flattened in a perfect radial pattern, with no crater anywhere. The explosion was heard 600 miles away. The shock waves circled the Earth twice, and for 3 nights afterward, the skies across Europe and Asia glowed so bright that people could read newspapers by the strange light. What they discovered in those remote forests would challenge everything we thought we knew about cosmic impacts. But the most disturbing part? We still don't know what really happened that morning in 1908. To understand the true horror of Tunguska, you need to picture the most remote place on Earth in 1908. The Podkamennaya Tunguska River region in central Siberia was a wilderness of dense taiga forest, home only to scattered Evenk reindeer herders. The nearest town, Vanavara, was 40 miles away. This wasn't just remote. It was practically another planet. That morning, a local Evenk man named Chakarin was sitting outside his hut when the northern sky suddenly split open. Years later, he described it to investigators. The sky split in two, and fire appeared high and wide over the forest. The split in the sky grew larger, and the entire northern side was covered with fire. His brother Chuchancha added a chilling detail. There was a bang in the sky and a mighty crash. The earth trembled, and a hot wind knocked me down. But remember those words. The sky split in two, because that detail becomes crucial later. The sheer scale of what happened next defies comprehension. Seismic stations across Europe registered an earthquake. In Britain, atmospheric pressure instruments detected not one, but 2 shock waves. The explosion, then its echo as it circled the globe. For 3 consecutive nights, the night skies across Europe, Western Russia, and even parts of Asia glowed an eerie silver blue. In London, people played cricket at midnight without artificial light. In Denmark, people could photograph each other by the strange luminescence. But here's what makes this truly unsettling. Despite an explosion visible from 500 miles away, despite shock waves that rattled windows in villages hundreds of miles distant, despite the mysterious glowing skies, nobody investigated. For 19 years, the outside world simply forgot. It was as if the most powerful explosion in recorded human history had been deliberately erased from memory. What were they afraid they might find? In 1927, Soviet mineralogist Leonid Kulik finally organized the first scientific expedition to the blast site. What his team discovered violated every law of physics they understood. An area larger than Los Angeles, 830 square miles, had been completely devastated. But not randomly. The destruction followed a perfect radial pattern, with every single tree pointing away from a central zone like spokes on a massive wheel. At ground zero, Kulik expected to find a crater. Instead, he found something far more disturbing, a small area where the trees were still standing, but every single branch and leaf had been stripped away, leaving only bare trunks pointing at the sky like skeletal fingers. The locals called them telegraph poles. Kulik spent years searching for meteorite fragments, digging, drilling, even draining entire swamps. He found nothing. No crater, no meteorite, no physical evidence of what could have caused the most powerful explosion in human history. But what they did find would haunt investigators for decades. Kulik's team documented something that shouldn't exist. Trees flattened with scientific precision. The blast had been so powerful that it stripped bark from trees 15 miles away. Animals were found carbonized in mid-stride. But the most chilling discovery came from the Evenk herders' testimonies, collected decades after the event. They described reindeer with their antlers melted off, Entire herds found weeks later, standing upright but completely mummified. And then there were the human accounts that investigators tried to suppress. An Evenk shaman named Ilya Potapovich described seeing a giant man in the sky just before the explosion. Another witness, Aksanov from Vanavara, reported that the blast had a distinct sequence. First came the fire in the sky, then an unbearable heat, then the sound, then the shock wave. But here's the detail that modern scientists find most disturbing. Multiple witnesses described the explosion as happening in complete silence initially, with the sound arriving several minutes later. That suggests something far more complex than a simple meteorite impact. For decades, scientists insisted Tunguska was an asteroid or comet that exploded in the atmosphere. Case closed. But in 1988, everything changed when researchers discovered something that shattered that comfortable explanation. The explosion had created a magnetic anomaly in the soil, evidence of an intense electromagnetic pulse that should be impossible from any known natural phenomenon. Trees in the blast zone showed genetic mutations identical to those found near nuclear test sites. And then came the revelation that would change everything. In 2013, Italian researchers found microscopic spheres of meteoric material, but not at ground zero. They were scattered in a pattern that suggested the object had changed direction multiple times before exploding. Objects don't change direction in mid-flight. Meteorites don't create electromagnetic pulses, and natural explosions don't produce the specific isotopic signatures found in the Tunguska soil. The most terrifying possibility? What if it wasn't an accident? What if something detected our planet, changed course, and then malfunctioned? Today, over 115 years later, Tunguska remains unsolved. The official explanation, atmospheric explosion of a cosmic object, can't account for the electromagnetic effects, the genetic mutations, or the trajectory changes. Some scientists now theorize it was a micro-black hole that passed through Earth. Others suggest it was a fragment of antimatter from deep space. But the most unsettling theory comes from the trajectory analysis. Whatever it was appeared to be deliberately avoiding populated areas, finally exploding over the most remote location possible. If Tunguska had happened 4 hours and 47 minutes later, Earth's rotation would have placed St. Petersburg directly in its path. Instead of 80 million trees, it would have been 2 million people. Was this cosmic Russian roulette or something else? The Tunguska forest has regrown now, but the trees still won't grow in perfect circles scattered throughout the blast zone. Even nature seems to remember that something impossible happened there in 1908. And sometimes, on clear nights, local hunters still report seeing strange lights in the sky above those empty circles. If you thought this was unsettling, wait until you hear what happened just 3 years later in almost the exact same circumstances. That video is waiting for you right now. Don't forget to subscribe. We uncover a new dark secret every day.